the young and the restless spoilers. Adam Newman paced around his penthouse, his thoughts a chaotic whirlwind of anger, frustration, and desperation. He had tried to keep it together, to maintain control over his emotions, but everything had spiraled out of his grasp the moment he saw Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra together. The image of them kissing, their bodies intertwined, replayed in his mind over and over like a cruel, mocking loop. It was as if all the insecurities he had tried to suppress came rushing to the surface. Adam couldn't handle it, he had to act. But his plan was reckless, driven by jealousy, and like many of Adam's schemes, it wasn't well thought out. He knew he needed to make Sally regret choosing Billy. He needed to make her realize she still loved him, Adam Newman, because in his mind, no one loved like he did. No one understood Sally like he did. But what was his plan? He couldn't just walk up to Sally and demand she come back to him. He needed leverage, something to make her jealous, to pull her back into his orbit. And that's when the idea hit him, Chelsea. Chelsea Lawson had always been a part of Adam's life, whether as an ally, a lover, or a co-parent to their son, Connor. They shared a deep history, and Adam knew that Chelsea still cared about him, even if she wasn't interested in rekindling their romance. But Adam was desperate now. He convinced himself that if he could reignite something with Chelsea, just enough to make it seem real, it would drive Sally mad with jealousy. She would see him with Chelsea and come running back to him. In Adam's twisted logic, it made sense. After all, Sally had always been possessive, and seeing him move on might push her over the edge. With that plan in mind, Adam wasted no time. He reached out to Chelsea, pushing the idea of reconciliation, of becoming a family again, for Connor's sake, of course. But deep down, Adam's motives were far more self-serving. He didn't care about rekindling things with Chelsea. She was just a pawn in his game, a tool to get what he really wanted, Sally. But Chelsea was no fool. The moment Adam began hinting at getting back together, Chelsea's alarm bells went off. She had known Adam long enough to see through his charm, to recognize when he was manipulating her. While there had once been real love between them, that love had withered long ago, replaced by a strained co-parenting relationship for the sake of their son, Connor. Chelsea had her own struggles, her own fears, and the last thing she wanted was to fall back into the toxic cycle that always seemed to define her relationship with Adam. Adam, of course, didn't see it that way. He thought his approach was subtle enough that Chelsea would be swayed by his talk of family and stability. But when he sat down with her and tried to lay out his case, she could barely contain her frustration. "Adam, what are you doing?" Chelsea's voice was calm, but there was an edge to it. "We've been through this before. We tried to make it work for Connor, and it didn't. Every time we get back together, something happens, and we fall apart again. I'm not going to put Connor through that again." Adam leaned forward, his voice smooth, persuasive. "Chelsea, I know we've had our problems, but we've changed. I've changed. Connor needs us to be together, a real family. We owe him that stability." But Chelsea wasn't buying it. "Is this really about Connor? Or is this about you? Because from where I'm sitting, it seems like you're more concerned with what you want than what's best for him." Her words hit home, but Adam wasn't ready to admit the truth, not even to himself. He deflected, as he always did, focusing on what he believed would sway her. "Of course, it's about Connor. We can give him the life he deserves." But Chelsea shook her head, her resolve hardening. She had made her decision, and there was no turning back. She had seen the look in Adam's eyes when he spoke about Sally, had heard the rumors about his desperation since Sally had left him for Billy. This wasn't about love or family, this was about Adam's obsession with winning, with not losing to Billy, and Chelsea wanted no part of it. "I'm not going to play this game with you, Adam," Chelsea said firmly. "I know what you're doing. You're using me to get to Sally. Don't deny it, I can see it in your eyes. You don't want me, you want her, and you think by parading me around, you'll make her jealous enough to come running back." Adam's eyes flashed with anger, but he quickly masked it. "That's not true, Chelsea." But she wasn't fooled. "It is true. And I won't let you use me like that. I won't let you drag me and Connor into this mess just so you can win some twisted competition with Billy. Adam sat back, his plans unraveling before his eyes. He hadn't expected Chelsea to see through him so easily, hadn't counted on her being this strong, this decisive.